I'm Michael Sams. Love doing this kind of stuff. Why, I don't know. Probably more so because some of the best tips and tricks or whatever that you guys do and we do comes from somebody else that has paved the way and has had success. And we all just want to learn from one another and benefit from one another. We all know that there's 100 different ways to skin a cat. And this is just one of those ways. And so what we'll be doing is just sharing my experience. Don't feel like you got to do it just the way that we do it. But from our experience, we can share with you some things that have worked, some things that have not worked, and help guide you along the way if this is something that you're interested in doing. So as we talk about how to hold Medicare and retirement planning seminars, the educational seminars, we're going to dive right in. We have what we believe is the largest, it looks like it, the largest number of attendees for a webinar that we've ever had. So definitely throw your chats in there. We're going to help field them the best way that we can. If there happens to be a question that we can't answer or we skip over, definitely reach out just after this and we'll be glad to help you guys out. So fire away, here we go. Why do we recommend doing educational seminars? When you are standing up in front of a group of people, you are already establishing some credibility just because you know what you're talking about and you're not a fly-by-night, knock on your door and never see you again type of a deal. You're just establishing yourself as a go-to person with the information and the knowledge. Especially doing the educational, they're saying, hey, this guy or gal really knows what they're talking about. And they're not just up here trying to sell me something, because it becomes very evident. And I think it's easiest to talk about Medicare Part D is the best and quickest way to establish credibility. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, teachers, highly educated people, they can't figure it out. You know, the different plans, 20 in our area, 23 different plans, different formularies, pharmacy networks, in and out of network, all of that jazz. And when you get to just educate them through that, they're saying, holy cow, he or she really knows what they're talking about. And as you progress through the education, you're getting done with it saying, I don't want to try, your prospects are saying, I don't want to try and figure this out on my own if I know there's somebody credible, trustworthy that's going to be able to kind of advise me and guide me through that. Connecting with your community. I'll say this, I really believe that it's a bit intimidating for prospects to just want to come into an insurance agent's office, like they feel like, or invite an insurance agent into their home. You just feel like you're going to be sold something. So if you can have these educational events that are free, very inviting, it just makes it to where you're going to get in front of certain people that you would not get in front of otherwise. Education. This may sound silly to you guys because we're all in sales. I'm an individual producer. I'm passionate about what I get to do. I love what I get to do. And it used to feel as though we were trying to, sell a long-term care policy, sell a cancer, whatever the product. We're trying to sell an additional product. And I believe with all of my heart, when we transition, I'll say when I transition, the whole approach to education, like Mrs. Jones, I'm going to help you understand this information, what you need to know in preparation for retirement, along with Medicare 101. Because the more that you understand, the easier it is for you to make a decision, make an informed decision. And so if we can just treat ourselves and rebrand ourselves as educators, there is a built-in need. And we're not going to have to give this slick sales pitch that doesn't feel good. It's, hey, let me help you understand. I'm going to provide some information or education. And based on that information, you're going to be able to make an informed decision. It just works a lot better. There's not that hesitation or resistance to when there is a recommendation. Hey, I would recommend you do this. It's, hey, based on all this information that we've gathered, Mrs. Jones, based on blah, 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 where you live, the drugs that you're on, the pharmacy that you use, I would recommend this. They're going to follow whatever you recommend when you have an education first approach. The opportunity is really, really incredible. I'm not the best at keeping track of all of this, but I have kept track of just 401k IRAs, annuity production that has come since we've started doing production. I don't have that total number. I keep track of the name and then the annuity amount. I haven't kept track of commissions. My goal is to look at it for 3 years, and after the third year, see what it has produced. So why is the opportunity incredible? Because we're promoting these events, what you need to know in preparation for retirement, along with Medicare 101. Before, we were just the Medicare agent. We'll help you with Medicare. Now they're coming, and I'll just reference this last Tuesday of this week. Before we even get started with a seminar, with the educational seminar, these people sat down and said, yeah, we know we're getting ready to retire. We have a lot that we need to iron out. We need to talk to you about rolling over our 401ks and IRAs and just get all of our ducks in a row. And I'm like, I haven't even said a word yet, but they know that these are topics that we can help with. So they're opening the door before I've ever said anything. And so from that, you're taking a prospect that needs help with Part D, Medicare, whatever, and helping them with a lot more products than just Medicare. So really, really cool. And again, we're not saying that this is the only way. It's just why I get so passionate about it, is being able to see the results and the benefits that come from doing the educational seminars. At this rate, this webinar is going to take too long. I'm going to slow down or speed up on my talking, or just keep rolling here. Understanding the difference between educational seminars and sales seminars, there's a difference. There's red tape with sales seminars that you don't have with educational seminars. And again, I just can't say it enough. The feel of the educational seminar is just so much better than that kind of that pressure of you're getting ready to be sold something in a sales seminar. And so you guys can see the screen. When you establish credibility through education, I don't make it, and then I'm kind of stealing some of the future information here. I don't make any follow-up phone calls. Hey, you came to one of our seminars, wanted to see if we could schedule an appointment. I don't do that. The information is so helpful and so beneficial to them. They just have a contact, they have a card, and they're calling me. I tell them this, timing is everything. Some of you guys, because we start by saying this, how far away from retirement are you? Or how close to Medicare are you? It's not always the same. And so we go around the room and we talk about that. And I say, some of you guys, we're not going to hear from you for 6 months. Some of you, we're not going to hear from you for 3 years. Timing is everything. So we just want to put on these educational events so that you know when the time is right for you to be getting your ducks in a row. We're here to help, and looking forward to helping. So big difference between educational and sales, and really educational seminars and sales seminars, and really recommend educational seminars. Some may get into the nitty gritty. I'm going to pick on you engineer mindsets out there about the CMS rules. You can see the rules. Must be explicitly advertised as educational, may be hosted in a public venue, with a Part D or a plan sponsor. Okay, fine. But there's your particulars. I don't think that you want to worry about getting hung up on the CMS rules. Yes, we all want to abide by the rules, but when you're doing education first, you don't have hardly any red tape to worry about. So I'm picking on you engineers. Let's go on to the next one here. Okay, hey, this is the experience part that we want to share our experience so that you're not repeating some of the mistakes that we've made. Here we go. Obviously, avoid weekends, Mondays and Fridays. Okay, middle of the week is best, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And this is the big one, the third one here, pay attention to holidays. I wanted to establish a system, hey, first Tuesday of every month, we're going to have an educational seminar, to where when my mother-in-law is wanting to know, hey, I've got somebody interested in coming to one of your seminars, my mom wants to know, Mom, it's just always first Tuesday of every month. It's always. Well, guess what? If it follows a holiday, Monday's off, you don't get anybody coming to the seminar. So on the weeks that it's going to Memorial Weekend or Labor Day weekend, we actually move that seminar date to a Thursday. That's our experience. Don't do it on a Tuesday if Monday was a holiday. Evenings have worked out really good. 6 p.m. is when we do ours, and we just do 1 hour. If someone says, yeah, I don't know what the heck we're getting into, but it's only going to last an hour, I think I can, hang out for an hour in any scenario. And it's very easy to relay all of the information that you want to relay in 1 hour. And with our experience, I just feel like, kind of like when church is out, everybody's like, I'm out of here, busting out the door. We get done after an hour and we really try and keep it right at an hour. And then they stick around and they visit and they're still eating brownies and asking questions. So don't feel like they're ready to bust out the door as soon as that hour is over. Be prepared to kind of hang out and visit and answer any questions that they might have. Still, and I might talk about this in a little bit, but still trying not to get into the weeds because they want to give you their scenario like right then, and they want some advice right there. It's like hard to make engage with this couple when you have 6 other couples sitting there waiting to just say, hey, thank you for this, we'll be calling you. Try not to get into the weeds because they will pull you aside and try and do that. Choosing a location. This is a dream come true for me, guys. You see in the background on this picture here on this slide, we build a riding arena, indoor riding arena. I'm a farm kid. Building a ranch was my dream, and so we did that. And so the fun space where we hold our seminars are in this slide here. But we have done it in other towns or other cities where we have rented a space, and it works fine. It works fine. The thing that you and I face are when you're renting a room and you have a good attendance, man, that was a great idea. When you're renting a room and you have very low attendance, or you've promoted this event and nobody shows up, man, I'm never doing this again. This one cost me money. You want to look at it as a whole. You want to look at for the whole year, 12 months. I did it once a month, let's just say, and out of those, what was the cost that I put out to rent this room? What fruit came from this? And the fruit far outweighs the cost to rent it. So libraries, hotels, convention centers, we actually did a hotel, was the only other experience that I have. In my scenario, this building, our riding arena, is right across the road from my house. So if nobody shows up, I just have to eat all the brownies myself because nobody was there to share them. So we call it Sam's Ranch. And yeah, there you go. Some tips, no pressure. Probably could spend a lot of time on this, but I think you guys know where I'm going with this. It's just trying to educate. Take all of the sales pressure and pitch out of it, and you are more relaxed when you just get to share your expertise. You guys get to do this every day. You understand Medicare and navigating way better than anybody who's getting ready to do it for the first time. So just relax, take a deep breath, and just say, guys, here are some things that you want to know in preparation for retirement, along with a little Medicare 101. And you establish credibility through that approach, and it just is a much more relaxed atmosphere. The only thing I hand out, and I've received a little bit of criticism for this, I don't sign anybody up on a sign-in sheet. I don't get their phone numbers when they're there. Can you do that? You can. But trust me and believe me, all you got to do is establish credibility by doing a good job of presenting yourself well, hand out a business card, and they will call. Second and third and fourth bullet here kind of go together, kind of go hand in hand, that you will have somebody, and I don't want to say derail you, but they'll kind of take you down a rabbit hole that really can lose the rest of the room. So you're trying to save those specifics for a one-on-one. Okay, so I'm not going to avoid answering questions, but we're trying to keep those keep from running too far down that other little side road, because it doesn't really apply to these people over here. It applies to them, but you could lose your audience just by going down too far down one road. You're really just trying to educate. We've said it 9 times now, educate and make them feel comfortable with you to where they want to schedule a one-on-one afterwards. And a free personalized consultation is what we recommend at the end of this, Mrs. Jones, whatever, or whoever the audience is. And we'll get into, it's not a one size fits all. And so we'll get into your specific needs and be able to speak specifically to them. I'm going to share one more thing before we get off this slide. Drugs. You can be running a Medicare Part D comparison and somebody wants to know about this drug. Well, nobody else in the room is on that drug, and it's a crazy expensive drug, and it scares the crap out of everybody else that's in there. And it's like, this isn't even going to apply to you, so don't worry about it. I've made that mistake. You just don't want to do that in that seminar setting. Presentation, guys, I think that it may feel like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to put in a presentation. Keep it simple. Like, there's things that you do every day that you don't even realize people don't know. And so again, Medicare 101 is huge. And then just a few other things talking about what you need to know in preparation for retirement definitely has a lot to do with investments. And when you and your employer are no longer contributing to your 401k, it is the most ideal time to consider a rollover, blah, blah, blah. But we start with a little introduction, little family photos, little video. I think it's a 1.5 minutes. And it just says, hey, I'm 3rd generation, blah, 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 in the insurance business, family farm, family ranch, whatever. And what we hope that you get out of today. And I think the reason why that was, I didn't have anybody ever introducing me. And so it was just a way to just kind of break the ice. And there were some seminars I would do a good job of giving a good preface. And there was other times I was just jumping right into the meat and potatoes. And so it just became a natural thing to have this intro video that covered some things that just gave a little bit of a background before you just jump right in. 26 slides total. And again, we've already said it, it just takes 1 hour. Some examples, these are legit, like exactly what we use. The overview is one of the first slides that we give, and guys, just understanding the basics of Medicare and how to use Medicare's website to your advantage. If I just tell you, go jump on Medicare.gov and do the plan finder, you'll be banging your head against the wall. These are the things that I'm saying. Let me show you for the first time how to utilize this plan finder tool on Medicare.gov, and you'll see how handy this sucker is. And with that introduction, you'll have a little bit more comfort and confidence diving into this thing on your own, blah, blah, blah. So that's what you're going to get out of this. And that's what some of those slides look like. I want to say one more because I love this part. People at 65 still planning to work. Well, I'm eligible for Medicare, so I'm going to sign up. Or no, the other side is, hey, I'm still going to be working even though I'm eligible for Medicare, and I'm just going to stay on my employer plan. And when you walk through the apples and oranges, Mrs. Jones, half the time it's best for you to go ahead and take Medicare even though you're still working. Half the time it's better for you to stay on the employer plan. A lot of times people are just looking at the premium and that's it. Where we're going to help you lay a comparison side by side and say, here's an apple, here's an orange, cost, coverage, yada, yada, all things considered. When you see it side by side, it's a piece of cake. Again, I feel like that educational side of it, people are relieved because I think that coming into it, they would feel like, yeah, this insurance agent's just trying to sell me or find a crafty angle of how to tell me my group plan sucks and I need to be signing up for Medicare and da, 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 da. You lay that chart out side by side, and I think that really, really helps. Definitely education first approach. Few tips. This is something that is my experience. It doesn't mean that you can't do something differently. That sweet spot is 15 or less, 15 attendees or less. When I first started, I thought, hey, I'm going to accommodate for 50 people. The bigger the group, even 15, people are they're not as comfortable asking questions and engaging. Kind of feel like they might be able to slip out the door without engaging much to where maybe I won't schedule an appointment with this big ugly guy. Under 15 is a sweet spot. Don't try and shoot for 100 people in your seminar. Can it work? It can. I've seen it done, but there's so much fruit. There's plenty of fruit that can come from 15 or less. That's a good number. The meals, guys, you've seen it all the time. Free meal at the what such and such restaurant for a annuity sales seminar or whatever. There's this lingering expectation that you're going to need to buy something because I just bought your meal. Do some bottled water, some light snacks, something to munch on, and it just goes with the feel of the educational seminar. In order to help promote future ones, have somebody at the back of the room taking pictures so that you can use it for future promotions. How to promote your seminar. Okay, you got this great game plan. You want to do the educational seminars. You're fired up after a little webinar like this. Where do I start? We create, not me, I'm going to say we create an event on Eventbrite, and people can purchase a free ticket, and that's how we know how many people are going to be coming. We set up the room accordingly, and we create a landing page on our website with more information. So that's first thing. Facebook is a big part of it. Get into some of the particulars here. You may want to write some of this stuff down, but you can definitely call us and we'll help you with that. But this is exactly what the ad looks like on the side of the screen here. Better than Facebook, and I'm not great at this, is, guys, one of the best compliments you can give is by referring somebody to one of these. I think after you've been here tonight, this evening, you realize we're not selling anything, and you guys know that now. That anybody that is nearing retirement, considering retirement, looking at Medicare, and needs some answers or have questions, send them this way. And so we have had, anyway, when those people come in, it's almost like, whatever you say, Mr. Jones, my neighbor, said it was great. I'm ready to do whatever you say. Those are better than those Facebook ads, but still, the Facebook ads are what we're also using. And you can kind of see the particulars there. Overall goal is just to sell tickets. Here comes the fun part, guys. We're going to do our best here to answer questions. I know that we can't do it all, but we're going to give it our best shot. Jay, if you want to help guide me through some of these questions.
Okay, we've got a question. Are Medicare supplements continuing to lose market share because of Medicare Advantage plans?
Yes, I don't know that I'm the best source for that, but yes, I know more people turning 65 are signing up for Medicare Advantage than Medicare supplements. There's still a great need, whichever market is strongest in your area. I contribute a lot of that too, and this is my opinion, guys. I contribute a lot of that to Joe Montana and Joe Namath. They're all over. I mean, you can't turn on the TV without seeing a Medicare Advantage commercial. You know this. They're great in certain areas. There's certain areas that the network is a concern. So you just know your area and which one's going to be best for your prospect.
Can you say something about the SOP on the previous slide? I think that was the scope of a point that they're referring to.
Even if you do it later. I know on the slide where it talked about the CMS rules that even if you hand out a business card, you've got to have a scope of appointment. Honestly, education first. I'm not doing any scopes. I'm not scheduling any appointments. It's, hey, here's some information that's going to help you in preparation for retirement. We're not doing any scopes. By the book, go ahead and have everybody sign a scope, but the way that we're doing it, we're not having any issues in that realm.
Okay, we've had some people ask about getting the notes from the PowerPoint. After the webinar, we're gonna send you over to another web page that has all this information, and you will also receive a follow-up email with some recaps and a replay of the presentation. Tyler wants to know, what's the largest turnout you've ever had during your seminar?
Memory says 18. We always have some spectators, either other agents or proud mother, proud father, some other family that may come and attend and watch. But then as far as the legit prospects, 18 has been the most that we've ever had.
We are holding educational webinars the past year and it's working great. Do you think we should get back in more public spaces?
COVID. First thing, I mean, what your question asked to me screams COVID. Guys, there's still going to be some people that for the rest of their lives, they're going to be paranoid about COVID. And then there's going to be others, and I'm going to say majority of others that are over it and they're not worried about it. And so even if you're one of those that may still be a little bit hesitant on the COVID thing, there's no contact. You've got your little hand sanitizer dispensers out and you're COVID friendly and you're spacing and you're fine. For those that need the information, but they're not wanting too close a contact, yes, get back in those public places for sure.
Winfred and Neil are both asking about the PowerPoint presentation, if they could use it. We do have a generic one that we can share. I believe one of the carriers put it together, but it has essentially the same information that Michael uses in his. So yeah, we will share that with you. Belinda, is there a particular person at libraries to visit with?
I can't speak to experience with that. I'm just shooting from the hip. I would just imagine you'd introduce yourself as who you are and what you can do to help people. And you would like to hold an educational event. What are the particulars? No, there's not like somebody like, I know you need to ask for this title of a person. I can't help with that, Belinda. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ellen would like to know, what do you cover in regards to retirement?
Social Security. We talk about Social Security, the timing of drawing Social Security, full retirement age, 8% cost or 8% increase for every year that you delay, the penalty that's involved if you start drawing Social Security before full retirement age, those particular things on Social Security. When we also talk about cover regarding retirement, it's the fact that most people, as they're getting ready to retire, they've worked so hard to accumulate this chunk of change, call it a 401k, call it whatever you want. And out of fear, out of not knowing, they just leave it there. And when you and your employer are no longer contributing to it, man, it's the best time to be planning to do a rollover. And so what are your options? Banks aren't paying any interest. National average on a 5-year CD, 0.28%. The market's crazy volatile. Is it wise for me to recommend you to be into the market, especially in today's world? No. Third and final option, safe, guaranteed interest, annuities. And then we go to education about an annuity. Some not great, some excellent. Here's what we recommend. Kind of get into that regarding retirement.
Okay, Chase. What was the range of attendance in the first 12 months? How long have you been doing them now?
So I'm going to say that we're 2.5 years strong. Chase, I can get that back to you for sure. Range of attendance. The anticipation was, hey, we're going to just kind of start small and the numbers are going to grow because the awareness that these type of events take place and our numbers are just going to get stronger with time. Chase, I'd be lying if I said that was the case. It's always one of those where you're just hustling to try and get the word out to get an attendance at your seminars. And so that's the one thing that I wish was like where we felt like we cracked the code on ensuring that we're going to have a good solid attendance every seminar. Whereas, yeah, again, once you crack that code, you just give me a buzz. I'm sharing these ideas, share it with us. Sometimes you feel like, oh, we know this. Wintertime, don't even bother. They're not getting out in the cold. But guess what? I know in the fall, they're very interested just because a lot of people are looking to retire as of the first of the year. And so hit it hard in the fall. I know we're dealing with AEP, but hit it hard in the fall because of what I just said.
Okay, Veronica asks, how do you structure your presentation for people in retirement facilities?
In retirement facilities, I'm kind of scratching my head here thinking, how do you structure your presentation for someone in a retirement facility? So I'm going to just say somebody that's in a assisted living facility. And this may not be exactly what you're looking for, but that's where my headspace is. If they're in an assisted living facility, first and foremost, in almost all scenarios, I'm starting Part D. And I'm just saying, Mrs. Jones, I may set you up, or somebody may have set you up on the absolute best drug plan that you can be on. But every year, unfortunately, that sucker is going to change. Since 2006, when Medicare Part D first came out, every year, every drug plan has changed. And so you need to be aware. October 15th, December 7th, you guys know this drill. I'm drilling on that. Why? It affects almost everybody. Most people, we're all creatures of habit, don't like change. You can save, no matter what their health, you can start there. From there, what other materials, what other topics are we touching on? It depends on the facility, because likely if they're in a facility and it's a nursing home type of a deal, I can't imagine doing one there. I just would say that you're probably leaning towards the assisted living facility or independent living facility. That's probably more likely. The independent living facility, it's you can be talking investments, you can be talking Part D. Those would be the two biggies that come to mind. Understanding the difference between Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage. This is a huge one. Guys, you need to know the difference. These commercials, Joe Namath, Joe Montana, you need to know the difference between Medicare and a supplement and Medicare Advantage. And let me just help clarify some of that, because we do get a lot of phone calls. I can see that being a big part of that independent living facility.
Okay, Termea asks, would you recommend sending invites to those turning 65?
Yeah, I may be getting some good ideas from you guys, and this is one of those that I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, we absolutely could. Again, I'm taking these things on the fly. I'm receiving these questions for the first time. Where my headspace goes immediately is this last seminar Tuesday, there was only 2 people that attended. But you know what? The opportunity that's going to come from those 2 people is great enough that I'm still counting my blessings. So do I want more than 2? Absolutely. Do you want more than 2? Yes. But it's almost like we're just realizing, hey, there's so much opportunity here that we're not really, I don't think I'm exploring all of those avenues that you're talking about for invites to get people to the seminars.
Okay, Jenny asks, are there specific tips you have for hosting an educational event in a new sales territory for you to get better attendance?
Say that one more time.
Specific tips you have for hosting an educational event in a new sales territory to get better attendance.
An idea that comes to mind would just be, you go to that area and there's always a senior center or some sort of an outlet where people go that need help. You can introduce yourself as, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I get to help people. We're going to be holding an educational event in your area on such and such date. If you have people that have questions pertaining to anything, retirement, Medicare, yada, yada, I just want to give you this flyer that spells out the date, location, and time. I think that would be the first thing that I would think of when you're going to a new area. And yeah, you want to introduce yourself to many folks that can do that. I'm going to jump on another subject. This might be a little bit more challenging to do so, but you have a lot of companies that have an HR department, and you have a lot of people that are preparing for retirement, seeking those human resource, wanting answers from those HR people. And those HR people will be tickled pink to know that there's an outlet, you are an outlet for those questions and can help. And so some of the better referrals that are coming my way today are people are coming from the local university or other ADM, doesn't matter, Caterpillar, all because of the HR department. So it doesn't specifically go with your question, but yes, wherever you're working, wherever you want to work, you introduce yourself as the retirement. You may write these things down: retirement specialist, Medicare and retirement specialist. Before I have you write it down, I better get it straight myself. You are, in your area, the Medicare and retirement specialist. You are, wait, anyway. And so when you are labeled as that, introduces that, and you give this good, warm and fuzzy feeling that you're not that slick salesman, fly by night type of deal, HR are going to refer a lot to you.
Okay, Eric would like to know, how far in advance do we start advertising or promoting the seminar?
Probably not the best one to ask that, but I feel like nothing really happens, not much happens until the week leading up to. So the feeling that I get is 2 weeks prior to an event. People aren't really scheduling things a whole lot like a month in advance. Yeah, you could start the month prior, but you're probably not going to get a whole lot of any response until that last 3 or 4 days before, but especially the week before would be when you would expect to hear something from somebody.
Okay, and do you advertise in the newspaper?
We used to, not against it. We don't anymore.
Let's see, I think we answered that. Do you see more referral attendees in recent seminars, or do most of these come from Facebook or other ads?
Referrals mainly, and I'm just making this up, Chase, but I would say a feeling of this is 60%-ish are coming from referrals. 40% are coming from Facebook. That's the feeling that I get, because I definitely do ask, you want to know what's working.
Okay, how effective would you say a virtual event would be for those turning 65?
Your reach is incredible. When you're doing a virtual event, your attendance can probably be even greater. And I would be all for the idea. There's something to this, and you guys already know this, but there's something to being present. That doesn't mean you don't do them, but as you're saying, which one's better? The live presentations, absolutely, but don't do just live if you're interested in doing the virtual. Virtual is good. The loyalty is what jumps out to me. Is there's a feeling of loyalty when we've met, that, hey, when I go to do business with somebody, it's going to be you. Whereas if it's just been this internet deal, hey, I can be on the other side of the world doing this, and I'm not even wearing any pants on this virtual event. You know what I mean? So anyway, if the feeling is do the live presentations.
Okay. What is the website to get this extended info on this presentation? John, we will send that out in a follow-up email. So be on the lookout for that after the webinar. It might take a couple of hours, but we'll send it today. Do you gear your focus more on certain topics depending on if you're speaking to pre-retirees versus people already retired?
Do you gear your focus more on certain topics depending? Okay, so our topics are pretty set based on, because it's a presentation that we're using each time. And there are times that we have people, there's certain segments of your presentation that don't apply to somebody. They're already on, I've had current clients even come to these seminars. They're already on Medicare. They're already in the best place possible. And they're going to hear it, and they got to sit through that segment that doesn't really pertain to them. But there's other portions of this seminar that are going to really benefit them. Certain conversations that just haven't happened for one reason or another regarding annuities, savings, investments, whatever, that get to happen naturally just because that's built into the presentation. So no, I don't alter it. Although when I see the questions that are coming in or know the feelers, again, I always start with, how close are you to retirement? How far away is Medicare for you? That kind of gives you a little bit of a gauge and a little bit of feedback to know some of the things that you may spend a little more time on than others. I'm just going to speak one to that real quick. Income related monthly adjustment, Part B, Part D, income related adjustment. I just say, hey guys, is this going to apply to anybody? We're looking at a chart, and everybody in the room is like, no, we don't make that much, and we're going to skip over it. I just say, hey, it doesn't really apply to this situation. Just know that some people, if their income's over a certain amount, they pay a higher amount than the 170.10 for their Part B premium. But you just kind of breeze past that, spend a little bit more time on other topics.
Bill, are you using Facebook ads as the majority of your event advertising? Any postcard mailings?
Facebook is everything right now. No postcard mailings at this time. Again, doesn't mean that they wouldn't be effective and wouldn't be good. I can't speak with experience to doing the postcard mailings. To me, it feels expensive, but that doesn't mean we wouldn't try it.
Yes, and same with newspaper advertising. It seems like as you guys know, the newspapers are sort of dying, but I think the last people who are using the newspaper are seniors, but we just haven't done much of that recently. One other thing we have done though is emailed Michael's customer base, existing customers, asking them to recommend people for the seminars.
Yeah. I want to speak to the Facebook advertisement. There's a lot of times that I know the referral. How did you learn about us? The referral from one of our existing clients. Well, how did our existing clients know? Prior to the letter that Jason's talking about, our clients are seeing it on Facebook. So even if it's not a direct connection, like, oh, I saw your ad on Facebook and that's why I'm here, it's one of your clients saw the ad, told me about it. And so it all kind of works together.
How does New Horizons work with agents on the financial side who have no experience or interest in financial products?
Great question. There's a couple of outlets that I think I can really get into the weeds on that I don't want to go too far down the road, other than for those, you can work out some sort of a deal where you hand it off and you still benefit on a commission split type of situation. Or you said not an interest. Usually, I didn't even see who the name was, so just bear with me. Usually it's a defense mechanism. I want to stay in my lane. I'm known as a Medicare person, so I'm just going to stay. It is easy. I'm a living, walking testament to that. I was just a Medicare guy, and now extremely passionate about helping people on the financial side. Don't have to get these crazy Series 6 and Series whatever, all these different licenses. It's just, Mrs. Jones, the national average on a 5-year CD is 0.28. We have fixed contracts, guaranteed interest rate, can't lose a dime, whatever. I'm giving my presentation and my pitch for why you and I, anybody, can have that conversation. We're improving their situation. We're not giving that slick sales pitch as to why you need to buy an annuity from me. We're improving your situation. You're currently getting nothing in the bank. We can give you this over the course of 5 years. That's a big difference in interest. When do you plan to use the money? How much do you plan to use? We're not really planning to touch it. Let this money work for you. Anyway, I encourage everybody, because I get to do it every day. I encourage everybody to not shy away from, diving into some of those questions regarding finances.
Yeah, are you good on time? We have quite a few questions.
Sure.
So Miguel asks, can you tell us what % of people sign up? Like, what's your conversion rate after the presentation?
Oh my gosh, I love this one. It is very frustrating if you are going to judge your success rate with who called the week after the seminar. Because now we've been doing it long enough. I'm going to just say 2.5 years just for fun. Some of the best prospects have come from seminars that were over 1.5 years ago, closer to 2 years ago. And so I don't do the best at keeping track, but when I do look back at a list of attendees, or I see the pictures from past seminars, I'm like, they became a client, and it feels like 80% of the people that are coming to your place, they're going to end up being clients. It's just a matter of time before they do. You just don't, and I'm being redundant, you don't want to try and judge that success with a month after a seminar, what came of it, because the best stuff comes in time.
Okay, can you do anything for a referrer?
Can you do anything for someone who's going to refer people? Yeah. Hey, $25 gift card to your favorite restaurant for referring somebody. We've talked about some of these ideas. I don't know that we've really followed through. We have, and I'm not remembering them right now. But yeah, hey, give everybody an incentive to let them know that, hey, if you get somebody to come to one of our seminars, just come. Just get them to come. They don't have to buy anything. You get somebody that to come, we're going to give you X. And to me, naturally, it just feels like that $25 gift card feels right, but you can do any kind of things to incentivize people to refer.
Okay, we've had a few questions around doing virtual events and webinars versus face-to-face. Tammy also asks, what about recorded virtual educational seminars? Any thoughts on that?
I think to get started, I really think to get started, if there's a little bit of timidness, insecurity, whatever you want to call it, to do an in-person or even a virtual, it would feel comfortable to pre-record one, make it perfect, and then do that. Fine. But I think the effectiveness, that'd be a fine place to start. But I think the effectiveness is when they get to see that you're not this robot, that you know your material, that anybody can put together and edit a presentation. But when you get to do it live, either virtual, when I say live, you know what I'm saying, virtual live, not pre-recorded, or in person. I don't know this, guys, from experience. It's just, it really feels as though your effectiveness is going to be much greater. Easy to just brush you off on a virtual, not as easy to brush you off, or it's easier to make that connection live.
Okay, guys, we have tons of questions here, so we're going to have to skip a few of them. Some questions about Facebook ads, how much they are, cost per lead. That is going to vary tremendously on your local situation, because it's all based on a bid system. We had some success or some results at, where is it? Facebook ads.
Right there.
Yeah, so we were spending $20 a day, cost per link click. So that's, a link click is not necessarily a sign up, but we were showing $1.43. But a good percentage of the people who click that link are going to follow through and sign up, but we just don't have those numbers handy. Let's see. How do you start a conversation about annuities? And another similar question, are you planning to do a webinar on annuities and how to sell them? And I can answer, we did one of those last week. Jacqueline, if you send us a note, we can email you a replay of that.
Hey, I see one regarding AHIP and $15 max on referral. Follow AHIP, don't follow me. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Do you provide handouts? If so, what type of handouts do you provide?
Yeah, we have handouts and they're not bad. They're not bad. They're great handouts. I'm not saying don't do them. I just have this strong feeling of, if I give them all of this information, they're more likely to try and maybe figure it out on their own. Like, hey, I've got this guide, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, versus all I really need to do is schedule an appointment to get with this agent, this expert in the field. And so again, that's my experience. That's my feeling. I'm not saying no, don't do it. Just establish yourself as a credible individual that's going to do the right thing by them every time.
Do you need to register a sales seminar at a private setting, for example, at a church, Moose Lodge, etc.?
I think when in doubt, registering a sales seminar is needed, period. Sales seminar for sure. Again, we're talking about educational seminars with today's webinar. But when it comes to sales, yes, you're going to be registering every event, cover your rear.
Does New Horizons help agents with marketing? Mary, I just think that's going to depend on what specifically you're asking. We provide all sorts of materials and handouts and training materials. But if you want to talk about something more specific, just let us know.
Let's pick on that really quick. When we go to New Horizons website and you talk about all those materials, can you give them a quick guide to get there?
Yes.
You don't have to show them.
So basically, if you're on our homepage, at the top right, there's some navigation, and again, we're going to send you to the website right after the webinar and an email link. But the top right, there's a resources menu, and if you click that, you'll see an item for marketing materials and another tab for training. So just check those out. There's lots of info in there.
Yeah, that's all I was looking for. It's beautiful.
Can we talk about hospital indemnity and how it may help with your out-of-pocket expenses on MAPD plans, or would that be too deep into the weeds or too plan directed?
I imagine you're talking about in a educational seminar. No, absolutely. If it's Mrs. Jones, you have two options when it comes time for becoming eligible for Medicare. Medicare with a supplement, all of that. When it comes to Medicare Advantage, if we're going to go down this road, it would be highly recommended to have an also hospital indemnity plan to fill in the gaps so that you're not left with a lot of out-of-pocket expense. Much more than that, yeah, you can get a little bit more, but not a whole lot more. Just understanding that there's going to be more out-of-pocket responsibility under this Medicare Advantage side. And so we do recommend that you have this plan that's going to help fill in those gaps. Be fine to talk about that.
Okay, and I think we're about wrapping up here. What do you think of charging a financial planning fee, like to give them a Social Security maximization report?
Hey, you guys are looking for honesty and transparency. I'm giving all honesty and all transparency. We have so much opportunity. We have so much opportunity with all of the things that we get to help, you and I get to help people with. There is no need to cause a fee, to charge a fee. And so, and we talk about this, no fees, no risk, guaranteed contract, And Ms. Jones, Mr. Jones, the controversial ones are going to say, well, then nothing's for free. You're not doing it for your health. How do you get paid? Ms. Jones, I love to talk about this. Whether you're talking about life insurance or health insurance or long-term care or annuity, the insurance company already builds into the pricing of the product that they're going to pay a commission to the agent for writing the business. But you are not paying more because of that. 100% of your deposit that goes into this guaranteed interest plan is earning that guaranteed interest rate. 100% of your deposit earns this guaranteed interest rate, and you don't have to account for a fee. Even if a fee is small, and I'm picking on Edward Jones, Raymond James, whatever, even if a fee is small, people are annoyed with fees. So I'm giving my one man's opinion. You want to know how to make more money? Go through the doggone needs assessment to uncover the needs of the client, which we preach and promote big time. Based on the information that you gather from that needs assessment, you're going to be able to make some solid recommendations and help them with multiple products. And there is plenty of fruit that comes from doing that way. Okay. Want to do one or two more?
I think we're good.
We're done.
Some just comments. So
okay. Guys, thanks for attending. I know we just went a solid hour. I think we did all right. Really appreciate you guys' interest. If as always, we can give you all of this information, and it's not going to be like, boom, tomorrow I'm ready to go do it. You're going to need some hand holding. I need a lot of hand holding. So if I can help you in any way, Jason, any of us, any of our team can help. Don't let anything hold you back from reaching out, and let us hold your hand through a new adventure. You guys have an awesome day.